त्वमेव साक्षात् श्री महालक्ष्मी महासरस्वती महाकाली त्रिगुणात्मिका कुंडलिनी साक्षात् श्री आदिशक्ति माताजी श्री निर्मला देव्यै नमो नमः। ॐ त्वमेव साक्षात् श्री कल्की साक्षात् श्री आदिशक्ति माताजी श्री निर्मला देव्यै नमो नमः। ॐ त्वमेव साक्षात् श्री कल्की साक्षात् श्री सहस्रार स्वामिनी मोक्ष प्रदायिनी माताजी श्री निर्मला देव्यै नमो नमः।
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to tonight's meditation. Just waiting for Vara, and we might pin ourselves as well. I'll pin you as well, Vara. I can find it. Yes, here we are. Here's both of us. So welcome, Vara. We're in this new format, so we're figuring out which way to look, so we're talking to each other. So everyone, as per usual, we'll be having a couple of meditations, the most important reason why we're here. Also, we've got a few questions that we wanted to answer amongst ourselves. Vara will probably take us into some interesting discussion very soon, but welcome if it's your first time tonight, and we'll catch you up initially with going through what we call self-realization, which most of us here tonight have gone through that before, but it's always nice to go through that again, just to really establish ourselves in that place of meditation, which is not in our mind, Vara. Where is that meditation going to happen?
You know, the other way we're talking about the word knowledge.
Yeah, particularly
You know,
when we go through our self-realization process, where actually we literally ask for the pure knowledge, and it's good.
and you know, I was thinking, my mother tongue is not English. So in several Eastern languages, I don't know what, so at least I know two or three, where there is a different word for the type of knowledge. For example, in Sanskrit, there is something called Jnana and Vidya. And then, you know, we ask people when we walk them through the self-realization process. So there is an affirmation that Lynn will walk us through. It says, Mother, please give me pure knowledge. In the modern society and in the English language, knowledge is knowledge. You know, it's like me saying, I know the Prime Minister from the TV. I've seen him, and I'll say I know the Prime Minister, and his wife will also say I know the Prime Minister. But they're really different kind of knowing. You know, she knows him in a very experiential sort of knowledge, and mine is very factual. Yeah, there is a country, and then he's the Prime Minister, that sort of thing. So when we deal with these things like the spiritual things, I could read 100 books about this. There are a lot of books that talk about the kind of concepts you were going to talk about, Lynn, with the chakras and the channels and so on. By reading those, when we say, I know what meditation means, it's very different from knowing it on an experiential level.
Yeah.
But you know it innately how it affects you. Would you agree with that, with your experience in Sahaja Yoga?
Definitely the knowledge about it, and hearing even what it is and reading about it is completely different to actually being in meditation, and even going through the process of trying to be in meditation. If you don't actually get into the thoughtless state and out of your brain idea of it, you actually don't know still. So it can take a little while before you actually, and when you feel that feeling of meditation, it's completely different to your idea of it. And so you get there and feel, oh, I could be here forever. And you're not necessarily there forever, but it's that
right.
feeling you get.
I was thinking of another analogy. Let us say any food dish. Let's say biryani, right?
Yeah.
It's an Indian dish which is made of a lot of spices. Yeah. You could read about the full recipe for 4 days, and yet you can't really claim that you know what it means until you have eaten it.
Yeah, true.
So then, you have the knowledge of the biryani, but until you have eaten it, you haven't really experienced the thing that it makes in your mouth, and how you're sweating like a pig because somebody has put a lot of lot of spice and so on. It's like it gives you the full thing. And I just remembered this line I read somewhere, is that what you feel is always more than the words that you use it to express it. What you feel is always going to be more than the words you use to express that feeling. we, we can't adequately explain the experience,
Yeah.
right? When like we just so we make do with what the words we have when we call it pure knowledge and when we call the self-realization. But until you have eaten that, you won't know. So hopefully you'll take us through that today, Lynn.
Yeah, maybe we'll move on to that fairly quickly. We've also got a 15-minute excerpt from a public program of Shri Mataji, the founder of Sahaja Yoga, as everyone knows. If it's your first time here tonight, of course, it's the lady you see in the picture there. We're very lucky that we've got lots of lectures and talks that Shri Mataji has provided all around the world on Sahaja Yoga, which is a little bit different from yoga that we might have an idea of what yoga is. A lot of people especially think that it's an exercise and without a goal. So yoga, the word literally, Vara, means union. And that's what we're aiming for when we say self-realization, is to get that union of the energy or the power that we all have in ourselves. So everyone, no matter who, from whatever culture, whatever religion, whatever non-religion, we all have that energy within us, which is pretty amazing to actually realize. And self-realization, which we'll go through again now, is awakening that energy and just becoming one with it. And the other thing, which is probably good to explain, Vara, is that we have to connect with our spirit and become the spirit. So, I mean, that's also a broad concept as well, and that takes a while to kind of realize that as well. Spirit having many connotations and the same word used for many different, it has an expression for dead spirits or alcoholic drinks. But what we're aiming for, which probably most people have figured out, the spirit is something eternal within us. Spirit being different to that energy that we all have at the base of our spine, which is our Kundalini energy, which is our mothering energy, that's going to take us up to our heart, critical place where our spirit resides, and then slip on up to above where we're thinking and go into that meditative state where the yoga happens, the union. So that union being with what? The union with that energy of divine that's all around us and is actually responsible for our existence. So we strangely aren't responsible for anything much. But anyway,
We just have to try not to mess it up, that's all.
try not to mess it up and try to make it better. And getting that self-realization, the thing to remember with that is that it's the start of your transformation into the more spiritual being. And pretty much that's the goal of our life, actually. But let's get to it. So self-realization is connecting those things and feeling the connection of those theoretical points of our life. And we'll take our attention inside. We'll do it by just putting our attention to our breath, perhaps, and that'll take our attention inside. And then we'll use our hands, so as we're not thinking too much, to guide our attention to different chakras, chakras being the modality of yoga, different chakras or energy centers on our body, on our left side, and then ultimately we'll come up to the top of our head and ask for our self-realization. And for those of us who've done it before, we'll ask to strengthen our self-realization at the top of our head. Does anyone have any questions before we do that? Feel free to use the chat There are a number of you on Zoom, so you've got that opportunity to ask any questions. No question is too silly to ask. We love a silly question. Go for it. So here's the chart. Thanks, Vara. So they're the hand movements. And as Vara said earlier, this is a very younger version of me. So we're using our right hand, which is our hand of action, our action side, and we're putting our hand onto the left side of our body. So the right hand goes onto the left side. And we're aiming to bring ourselves into the center, the central channel, which is where everything automatic happens, including our meditation. So our evolution, the present moment, the silence is all in the center of our being. So we'll just get ourselves prepared for this, keeping our feet flat on the ground. We'll certainly have our shoes off. If we haven't already, we can take them off. We'll take a few deep breaths. You can close your eyes to take your attention inside, and I'll talk you through where we're putting our hand, and then obviously you can open your eyes and just check on the diagrams where we are, where you're putting your hand, but it'll be fairly obvious. So we've got our two hands open on our lap, closing our eyes. Just take our attention to ourselves, inside ourselves. Just feeling our breath going in and out. Maybe on the next in-breath, we can hold it for a little bit at the end of our in-breath. So we're breathing in. Just hold it a bit and then letting it out. And when it's fully out, just hold it again for a few seconds and breathing in. Hold it at the end and letting it go. So we're just expanding our breathing. So let's just take that right hand onto our heart center. We can ask a fundamental question to ourselves. Who am I? And am I the spirit? Just taking the hand down, just under the rib cage, the top of your stomach. Still breathing quite fully. And here a question to just pose before ourselves. Am I my own master? And the thing that comes up when you ask that question of yourself is, what am I listening to? What do I base my activity and my actions on? Is it what I feel? Or is it what I think everybody thinks I should do? So let's go down now to the hip. So we're just pushing the fingers in that joint of the body and the leg. And this is adjacent to where our energy, our power of our ascent is located, the base of the spine. And here's where we ask for the pure knowledge. So this is the truth, the absolute truth about ourselves. So we're going to ask Mother Kundalini, that power, that energy residing at the base of our spine. Mother, please give me the pure knowledge. Really desiring from our heart. Mother, please give me the pure knowledge. Now with this power awakened within us, we'll come back up to the top of our stomach with our right hand, still on the left side. We can affirm now that I am my own master. Mother, I am my own master. Coming back up to the heart. Still breathing substantially. And here we can affirm that I am the pure spirit. Just really feeling the propensity of that statement. I am the pure spirit. And now as our Kundalini power raises up through that central channel, we're going up to the neck and the shoulder joint with the right hand. We're squeezing it with our fingers behind and our fist, the base of our palm at the front, the fingers at the back. Squeezing it nicely. We can even just turn our head a little to the right so you can hold that area. Now this area gets squished or blocked if we feel guilty about things, and sadly we keep feeling guilty about so many things that we may or may not be responsible for. So let's just in general clear all that guilt out by saying, Mother, I am not guilty. And you really need to say that a number of times. So from your heart, Mother, I am not guilty. So try not to let anything come to mind that tells you, yeah, you are guilty, you did this, you did that. I'm not guilty. Whatever it is, I just won't do it next time. If it was wrong, yeah, it was wrong. But I'm the spirit, so I'm not guilty. I'm not guilty. Mother Kundalini, Mother Energy, I'm not guilty. Really feeling it from your heart. A few more times. Now let's come up to the forehead. We're going to drop our forehead into the palm of our hand. We can hold with our thumb and our fingers on either side of the forehead. You can just drop it a little forward, so you're really resting the forehead. No stress or tension. And here we'll forgive everyone and everything. Mother, I forgive everyone. And importantly, I forgive myself. Mother, I forgive everyone, and I forgive myself. So we're really developing that relationship with our mothering energy, with our kundalini, our power of ascent. Mother, I forgive everyone, and I forgive myself. And let's now take it from behind. So we'll bring the palm behind our head and we'll just tip our head up a little bit and rest the round part of the back of our head in the palm. And we'll just ask just to clear our head once and for all. If I've made any mistakes, knowingly or unknowingly, please forgive me. So really feeling these statements from your heart. If I've made any mistakes, knowingly or unknowingly, please forgive me. And now let's go up to the top of our head, just stretching the palm, stretching the fingers back and pressing the center of the palm into the center of the top of our head. So that's the fontanelle bone area that was soft when we were babies. Pressing down, just massaging that area. Try for the clockwise direction if you can, going left and forward and to the side and back, massaging it. And then from your heart, we're asking, Mother, please give me my self-realization. Mother, please strengthen my self-realization. Establish me in the Sahasrara, the 1,000-petaled lotus. Chakra or energy center that we're newly entering into. Please give me my self-realization. Please strengthen and establish my self-realization. Really feeling it in your heart as well. And then just raising your hand up. Some of you will be feeling that cool flow on the top of your head. If you're doing it for the first time, you might feel it as a little bit of a warm flow as the debris, whatever it is, has been pressing upon us, is cleared away. Let's try with the other hand, the left hand. We'll bring it close to that fontanelle bone area and then take it up a little bit until you can feel that very subtle flow. Might be a long way away, or it might be very close. And then just bring both hands open on your lap. Still breathing. Just keeping your attention, focus at the top of your head. Being aware of the palms of your hands. Sometimes you'll feel a little bit of a flow in the palms. And if you've been practicing this for a while now, you should also maybe feel some fingers tingling. Maybe one side, one hand, you're feeling more than the other. We'll see how that feels again in our second meditation. So we try to make that feeling stronger, clearer, more balanced. Just still, we're going to focus on breathing. And just slowly opening your eyes. So Vara, you'll take us through another meditation, maybe after we listen to Shri Mataji's very interesting talk from 1983. I don't know if you wanted to do any balancing before we do listen to the talk, or you'll do that for our second meditation.
We'll do it for the second meditation. We can show the subtle system chart quickly, and then we'll get on to the second meditation after the speech.
Okay, so we'll just go into the speech of Shri Mataji. It's in Caxton Hall in London. So I'll just share that. Enjoy, everyone.
I bow to all the seekers of truth. We are seeking truth, reality, not hallucinations, not imagination, not our own mental projections. We have not been yet able, many of us who are seeking, understand that reality is what it is. It will be the same, it has been the same. We cannot coin it for ourselves. We cannot organize it. And we cannot think about it. We cannot put a mental projection of our own as to this is the reality, this is not the reality. Today only I was reading with great surprise an article about sniffing the glue that people are doing. I mean, now this is the last they are sniffing now, with petrol, all sorts of things. Well, why? Why are they doing it? Because for some sensation. But they said that when you do that, what happens? That you start believing that whatever you are doing is right. That's exactly is the point today. Without sniffing also there are many who believe like that. That whatever their ideas are about God or about spirit, about seeking, is the right thing. And they don't want to see what reality is. They just want to project their ego, their imagination, to believe that this is the reality. And then they just are convinced that they know everything. With such people, what to do? How to tell them that reality is something very different. Now what happens when we put our mental projections like this? We conceive things, we read books, we form our own ideas. It's a very dangerous thing that can happen to human beings. And that is, your ego starts bloating, becoming big and big and big without your knowledge. A person who has an ego does not harm himself at all, he harms others. He doesn't harm anyone as such, but he harms in a way which can be very deep, hurting. He'll say things which will hurt a person. He'll do things that will hurt Nations after nations can be destroyed with this ego, like Hitler did. So when you put your mental projections like this, I can do it, I can find it, I know, I believe, then this ego, you see, grows in your head. If it was only your head, nothing to bother. But it grows round your heart. It grows round your heart. And your heart becomes like a stone. You cannot feel anything that is real. You cannot understand what is real and what is unreal. All your discrimination is lost completely. I went to Bangalore and there were some very ordinary people working in gardens and things like that. They saw me and they recognized. Not difficult. One lady came and told me, my son has gone away for 2 years. He's only 14. He was only 14, now he must be 16. And I know you can call him back. I said, how do you know? He said, we know who you are. Just seeing my face. Can you imagine? Such sensitivity they had. I said, all right. And the boy came back after 2 days. But look at their quality. The whole level of sensitivity is lost with this ego. When Rama went to jungle, as you know, he was sent away, everyone recognized them who were in the jungle leading a very normal life. But today it's getting worse and worse and worse. We have no eyes to see. We have no sensitivity to understand. We have our own images built around us, such barriers. We have lost all sensitivity to reality, to goodness, to divinity, to love, to affection, to compassion. And that's why it is so difficult. It's very difficult. Even when we say we are seeking reality, it's kind of a big announcement of the ego. But there are many who do believe we have found the reality, we know reality, we have full conception of reality, and this is what it is. If suppose tomorrow Christ comes, who is going to recognize him? Not you. Not the people who are living in the cities, not them. But when he goes in the forest, two simple village people, they will. Because they haven't lost that. They are still there in the center. This ego develops with so many things. Money, one thing. Sometimes the belief that we are moneyed people also can. Power. I mean, as soon as somebody becomes a minister, you should say it's completely changed. His face is changed, his style is changed, his talking is changed. They've forgotten what life is like. There's no fun in their life, no fun at all. Just like dried fishes. Better not go near them, otherwise you will get the stink of their ego. This is what is the problem today, present day. Sahaja Yogis get upset about it. Why, mother, people don't progress in Sahaja Yoga? First, they have their own conception. You tell them this is Sahaja. And as you have to tell somebody this is reality, say you say this is diamond, then you have to also remove all the obstructions which are on top of that to show you that this is reality. The wisdom lies in understanding what it is. Let's see for ourselves. That's the soundness of a character if you have. At least you will settle down and try to see what it is. Instead of that, people just get angry. Oh, we don't believe it. But you don't believe with what? You haven't got the sensitivity to know what to believe, what not to believe. But it is even much more dangerous than that. Because when you have to seek, because that's your nature, you have been seeking all your lives, not this life. When you come again to seek in this life, which is a special time, you are always enamored by something that is unreal, that appeals to your ego or to your superego. Means a person, if he can somehow or other give you some sort of a sensation or some sort of a mesmerism, you think, oh, this is wonderful, I felt so happy, I was very high. Just like getting intoxicated. But what have you achieved is the point by that. Like if you take some sort of this glue business, I don't know what happens. Today somehow I have been reading 3 articles on such things. Something like cocaine, they said, is the modern trouble now. The drugs are out now, the cocaine. With all this intelligence, with all this knowledge that you have gathered, if you have to end up your life with cocaine and glue, where is the wisdom? When you have to select something for your life, for the fun of your life, for the beauty of your life, what do you select? Something that is going to destroy you? You see others are destroyed, still you go to it. This is the danger of this horrible ego which we have created of our own. But it may also take you to people who will pamper your ego. For example, somebody says, all right, in this hall if you have to come, pay £100, otherwise you cannot enter. You'll be surprised, this hall will be filled completely by all the big cars will be standing here and people will be just sitting here. It's a sort of as if they are going to races. Who pays more? It's a competition. In the elite society, you will be surprised. The talk is like this. Who is your guru? What are you going to do this time? They said, I have tried this, I have paid about £5,000. Now I think I'll have to go somewhere with £10,000. It's really, that's the talk they have. They talk like that. If it was only stupidity that you achieved through your ego, it's not so dangerous. But discrimination is completely lost. And you are enamored more by unreal things. And with little understanding, with little intelligence, you can understand. Very little is needed. You don't have to read books to understand that. But that simple common sense of a village folk, you don't have. Like, I remember my granddaughter once went with her father and mother to a Lama. She's a realized soul. The parents are not. And this Lama had shaved his head completely and was sitting with a big robe. So first, everybody was going, she was looking at him. She couldn't understand what this fellow is up to because everybody was touching his feet. And then the father went and touched her feet. And when the mother went and touched her feet, she couldn't bear it. She was only 5 years of age. She just put back her hands like this and stood before him. He said, why are you such a hypocrite? You are not a realized soul. Just by shaving your head and by wearing this dress, do you become a realized soul? She just stood before him, 5-year-old child. And the parents were rather embarrassed. And the fellow didn't know where to look when she said, in Hindi they say par. You are not even par. How are you sitting there and asking everybody to touch your feet? What right have you got? And then the parents got embarrassed and they said, you shouldn't say like that. He said, I would not have said if you had not touched his feet. See the 5-year-old child. And otherwise she's a very mild, sweet person. She stood up. But somebody comes as Lama, finished. If somebody is coming here Lama, for us, he is the greatest. Then he tells us that you have to go to Shambhala in the Gobi desert. We are all packing our things, going to Gobi desert to die there. What else? Is there any nirvana written in that Gobi desert? This is what it is happening to the seekers who have been seeking for ages and ages, and they have come on this earth deliberately to get their realization. And there they are, ending up their life in Gobi Desert. But if anybody tells them that's not the thing, that's not the reality, then they get very angry. Why should you criticize? But main thing is, you have to find it for yourself. You have to understand that the power has to work through you. Just like blind, you see, going under a cover. If somebody says go 3,000 pounds, all right, then 6,000 pounds, all right, then 10,000 pounds, all right. Just walking towards the hell, that's all it is. You can't pay for God. You can't pay. You can't read about it. You have to experience. And the experience, when it is yours, you become part and parcel of God Almighty. You become the power. Perhaps very few human beings realize how delicately, beautifully, for so many ages, God has worked on human beings to create you today. And the seekers are a special category of people. But modern times are the worst times and the best times. Because all kinds of negative forces are working now. First they have built up your ego, and now this ego is fed by people who are utilizing it. And after that, you have lost even the concept, the idea as to what to find. This is the situation of today's seekers.
Shall we meditate a little more, Vara?
Yeah, I'll just put up the subtle system chart, and then we'll go through the last meditation. Because I think there are quite a few who are new. I'm trying to recognize some of the names in the list. I couldn't stop noticing the wisdom of the child in that video. It looks like wisdom and age not always go together. So I see a few of our participants are new, so I thought I'll give a quick introduction to this, and before we go into the next phase. So what you see here is we can say the factual knowledge that is the basis of the experience. So you see at the bottom of the what we call the subtle system, you see this red dot which is pointing to the phrase called innocence, with the two legs are meeting. So that's the motherly energy that is there within us. So that's the first energy center. Just above that, you see a coil, which is the motherly energy within us. So this coil is just a little bit above the first energy center, and that's the energy that knows everything about you and your individual journey and your moods and your character, basically. And then you have the 7 energy centers, which are numbered there. And then when Lynn was walking us through each affirmation, we were activating these energy centers, and we are affirming some universal truths which we tend to forget in the busyness of life. And then you'll see that the magnified part, which is in the circle there, it's also having the numbers that are written at the middle of the subtle system. So what these are is that each of these energy centers is also reflected in our fingers in the middle of the palm and the base of the palm. and they have the left and right aspect. And when we get our self-realization and we meditate on our own, then you become your own master by being able to decipher your own problems on that day in your subtle system. So, for example, when you meditate and then you're feeling that your left palm is a bit warm, what that means is that your left energy channel, which is represented in the blue color here, is having a bit of imbalance. Then we'll in the next meditation session we'll show you how to clear that. So maybe your right energy channel is a bit not in balance. Then you also learn how to clear it. So when the right energy channel is out of balance, what it means is that you are spending your time more in the future and being a bit in the action mode. So you know how sometimes when you throw a thing, it just vibrates a bit more before it rests. So you're in that, say, action mode. And then on the left, when your left hand or left channel is out of balance, what it means is that you are in the past and a little bit more towards, you could say, on the extreme of it, you can say on the depression side. On the right extreme is the aggression and the left extreme is the depression. So we sort of move around in pendulums. But when we meditate regularly and when these energy centers expand, you stay in the center, so your pendulum doesn't move as crazy as it usually does, where we go from really happy to really unhappy, that sort of thing. So that's sort of is the knowledge about it. And you'll see on the top of number 7, you'll see this lotus sort of thing. It's about 1,000 petals. So when all these things are integrated with the help of Kundalini, when your energy channels and your energy centers are integrated, you reach a state of what we call the state of integration or the thoughtless awareness state. So now let's try if we can experience that. So if we can put both our hands on the lap, let's take our right hand and put it on top of the head and press it. You already have had your self-realization through the process that Lynn walked us through. So we ask here, Mother, please bring me into balance and establish my self-realization. Now letting your attention stay at the top of your head where your hand was touching, we bring our hand back to the lap. And keep your attention up there. Now you can drop your right hand towards the ground. If you're sitting on the floor, you can nicely place your palm on the ground. If you're sitting in a chair, let your hand just drop towards the ground. Here we ask, Mother, please clear all the problems that arise from my left channel. Mother, please clear me of all the imbalances in my left channel. Mother, please remove all the imbalances of my left channel. Let's keep our attention, continue to keep our attention on top of the head. and observe any subtle changes there. Now let's put our right hand on the lap. We raise our left hand towards the ceiling, just like that. You don't have to make your hand stiff, just like that. Here you ask, Mother, please clear my right channel of all the imbalances. In the modern society that we live in, we are helplessly in the thinking and action mode. That's not how we are designed to be. So we're asking that motherly energy within us. You could also ask Shri Mataji, who has gifted us this technique. Say, Mother, please clear me of all the imbalances of the right channel. Let's keep our attention on top of the head. Mother, please clear me of all the imbalances of the right channel. Lynn, if you can play some music now. And for the rest of us, let's observe if there are any changes that are happening in our palms and on top of our head. Let's bring our right hand on top of the head. Gently press it down. And once again we pray, Mother, please establish my self-realization. You can bring your hand back to your lap when you're ready, and let's just stay in this state for another minute or two, quietly. That's all I had for tonight, Lynn. And just to point out, it's because of the lack of time we don't play Shri Mataji speeches in full. But I just put the link in the chat where you can find the whole speech. So you're very welcome to copy that and maybe Lynn can post it in the group.
Yeah, I'll put it in the groups. Well, thank you, Vara. That was a very nice meditation. If anyone wants to, oh, we've got one message. Thank you, Vara Baya and Auntie Lynn from Tanisha. Thank you. Feel free, as Tanisha has, to share a comment or feedback or ask a question also.
We have a few new people, so please don't be shy. If you want to unmute yourself, ask a question, we'll be there for another 5-10 minutes, no problem.
Yeah. You have the power now to unmute as well as chat.
I was thinking, Lynn, children and their wisdom. So other day we had a guest come from Sydney, travel long 3 hours. So he came before us into the house. He had the key. So he blocked the driveway. So I was trying to call him to move his car. And then my son goes, he's very rude, he's very tired. It's very rude to call him and bring him out and move the car. I'm like, okay, fair point. I couldn't help think of that after listening to the speech.
Yeah, yeah, 5-year-olds. It's pretty good. Thank you, Carol, for your comment. We can put on the music a little bit more if people want to meditate for a bit.
I think, yeah, I get a sense that people don't want to be disturbed.
Yeah.
So you can put some music on and...
Yeah, we'll do that. Thanks, Angela.
Oh, wow, we got Angela from Netherlands.
Wow, fantastic. Nice.
I don't know, Angela, are you from Utrecht or Amsterdam? We're not going to come and knock your door, but just curious because
Yeah.
I'm The Hague. Oh, wow.
Off from The Hague. Nice. All right, I'll put the music on. of the same.
All right. Good night, everyone.
Thanks for joining, and look forward to the next time. Back on. Actually, put another one. And we'll say good night to everyone and see you next week. Good night.